What is happening? Welcome to another pitch video breakdown. My name is Nick Pollack. Today, we're going to talk about Zac Gallen. And no, I'm not going to make a statement about maybe he's not a leader or not. You guys hated that one on Walker Buehler, but if you watch the video, you understand. I wasn't saying he was bad. I was just saying that he's maybe not at the top echelon of pitchers like the 250 ERA suggested last year, 250 or so, and how he's just a very good pitcher that just isn't quite as overwhelming as someone like Burns or something like that. That's the whole point. Anyway, it's not about him. It's about Zac Gallen. And if you're not a Gallen gal, what are you doing? You should be a Gallen gal. And if you want that shirt, you can go to pitcherlist.com, check out the store there. It's an awesome shirt. I also have a mug too. But anyway, this guy is coming back and he's doing much better things. That is, he's throwing harder. It's about 95 miles per hour now as opposed to like 93.5 that we saw last year. And we're slowly seeing the secondaries come into form. Gallen throws 4 different secondaries: a changeup, a curveball, a slider, and a cutter. It used to be only one of the slider and cutter. He's actually kind of separated into 2, but maybe it's coming into 1. We're going to watch him work today, but spoiler alert, it's all about the fastball. So there is the slider coming in. Actually, more probably the cutter at 87, especially if he's trying to get it up here. Generally, when you see with cutters, is if it's a cutter, you want to play in this territory up here where it's like looks like a fastball and comes back in. Or if it's a slider, you want to actually be coming in here. Or if it's a first pitch slider, you want to kind of backdoor it over there. So the fact that he's aiming for up here is not really a slider. That's that's an actual cutter that's just trying to play with, is it's going to be land up here, it falls in the zone, or if you think it's a fastball, it's going to land here. It actually plays off and goes inside and takes advantage of an aggressive hitter. So it's nice to see that. That was a good movement. Now at 0-1. Oh, he doesn't get the call. Blue, you're right in front of it. You're right in front of it. Don't look at the glove. Don't look at where he caught it. You're right in front of it. You're right there. Blue! Get it where are the robo-umps? I'm serious. I really want them. I think that there should be a whole challenge system. I think a pitcher and batter every single game is allowed to do it. Anyway, fine. You get that, throw a better fastball. Oh, man, that's so close. Like, that almost gets it, too. He's trying to do essentially the same first pitch. Again, Muncy doesn't want anything to do with it, so, like, if he executes just slightly better. Oh, this is so close. He would have gotten another strike there. So now 2-1. This is something we've been talking about a little bit. We talked about it yesterday with Patrick Sandoval and his changeup in 2-1 counts. And 2-1, like, what is a fastball count anymore? In 3-1, we're seeing guys use breakers because they go against the batter expecting a fastball. With Gallen, with a lot of secondaries in his arsenal, sure, he's throwing about 55 to 60% fastballs, but we might see a big curveball for a strike in this situation instead, because Gallen isn't a guy that gives in. And there you go. You see it at 81. And that works, right? That's free real estate. Yes, it can be free real estate at 2-1. Because Max Muncy is selling out for a specific pitch at 2-1. I guarantee you it wouldn't have been that curveball, and there it is, right? Floating into the zone for a strike. So that's 2-2. And it's, an interesting situation now. Do you try and get that fastball or that cutter up and in now and really nail that? Do you throw a changeup down and away? There are actually a lot of opportunities here for Gallen, especially considering that Muncy hasn't given his hand about what he's actually looking for by swinging. So there's a curveball. And I don't hate that approach, but I do think that Gallen has such a good changeup that we haven't seen it enough, and I kind of want to see more of that changeup, especially in this situation against the lefty. He goes with the curveball, throws a little bit too low, wasn't tempting. And now at 3-2, you could see a fastball, because again, you haven't seen Muncy swing yet. He hasn't swung a single pitcher. You really don't know what he's looking for. You could try and go with the fastball down and away. You can go with a cutter, trying to go back up and in. Maybe even that changeup. We'll see what we get. Oh, and does go with a fastball, and Muncy is saying, that's the one I'm looking for. This is ball 4. So in many ways, you could say, oh, that is a good pitch because he's swinging a pitch out of the zone. I would probably say I'm frustrated if I'm Gallen, because not only did I not hit my spot, but 2, wrong pitch call, because he's saying that's the one I wanted, right? So if you had thrown a cutter or a changeup in the zone, it would have worked. So now 3-2, Muncy saying, like, fastball's the one I was looking for. Let's see if you can throw a secondary in the zone. Oh, and it was a changeup. And honestly, like, once again, right there, I love the pitch call of a changeup. And Muncy wanted nothing to do with it. So fine. All right. You have Bellinger now, man on first. Maybe you do the same cutter fastball thing you were doing before. He's trying to go for the cutter up. I couldn't hit it. And then you get a changeup in there. Good. Okay, right. So what is the hitter's count? 1-0. No, you get a changeup. And you can kind of see Bellinger react to this one. He's getting out in front, but then he's like, no, it's a little too high, or it's not really what I wanted. I'm going to take it instead. He's going to hold back, but then the changeup falls in. And he's a little surprised by it. Because he thought that was a fastball coming in. He's like, okay, you know what? This is the one I want to go for. Even though he should have, because that changeup was elevated. And if he was ready for a changeup, he would have crushed it. But he wasn't. And that's the point of why you throw a 1-0 changeup. Oh, that's a beautiful one. That is, ooh, I love that one. That looks like it's a fastball coming in here and then just falls down into the zone here, or out of the zone. You're going to get an out often on this, especially if they swing like this. Like this is rolled just foul. I assume you can see how Gallen, good job getting off the mound. I'm sure somebody yelled, get over. But now at 1-2, you see that Bellinger was ready for the fastball at the 1-0, didn't get it. And he took it for a strike. Wanted the fastball at 1-1, swung at it, offered that good changeup. I mean, you kind of throw another changeup until he shows that he's not going to swing at it or like is seeing it better. So that's what I would do personally. He throws that's a really good pitch too. And that's a 95-mile-per-hour fastball up that generally, if they're looking for an off-speed pitch, they're done, right? There's no way that they are going to readjust for that pitch, considering it's also right at the top of the zone. Excellent, excellent spot. But the fact that Bellinger swung at it is kind of like, oh, right, that's 3 indications he's given us of he wants that heater. So you got to give him something else. I would not go with the fastball here. And he goes with a curveball that, ooh, dangerous. Man, I thought that was out. Where is this one located? Yeah, so this is a terrible spot. So, I mean, you can see, right, it's landing here. And this curveball is intended to be down here. In 1-2, the whole goal of your secondary pitch is to get them at the point of committing. And then once they've commit, don't put the ball in a place that they can actually hit it. Even if it's down here, that's not necessarily good for a 1-2. Because if they are swinging at this, they're committing to it, they can adjust and to be able to hit that, especially if it's down and in. Now, if it's here or if it's, let's get rid of all of this. If it lands down here, so after the commit point, that's harder to adjust and hit. And this, I mean, this is incredibly hittable. And this starts even like here in the zone and then falls all the way down to it. Right? We'll watch it again in full speed here. I mean, that's, oh man. He got lucky with that one. That's a mistake that Gallen got away with. Okay, so now we have one out here. First pitch, fastball, doesn't hit it. Fine. 1-0, maybe throw that cutter now. Down and away. That was a fastball. 96. That's a pretty good offering. I mean, you want this down a little bit farther, and you could theoretically push it to right field, and Chris Taylor is good at that, but that's far enough away. That's harder to do well. Man, spots it again, 95. I wonder if Taylor was thinking this might be that cutter that falls off after throwing 2 fastballs away. That would be the logical progression, would be you nail it away here with fastballs. And then once you've set that up, now you have the cutter that starts there and then falls off of it, right? And I can imagine that seeing this, Taylor's thinking this is going to fall out of the zone. So he's probably in his head thinking, okay, if it's on the black, like, just say no to that. Gallen freezes him with that. That's pretty cool. You could do the cutter now. You could absolutely do that. Or you can get even crazier. What I would love to do, my wild, just messing with hitters, I would throw a changeup down here. That's what I would do. I would throw a changeup going this way. And why I think that would work is because now Chris Taylor's like, okay, this black, he's going to expect another cutter. He's not going to expect a fastball doing that, right? So if you throw a pitch that starts here, he's probably not going to swing because we think it's going to go that way. However, if you throw a pitch that starts here, he thinks this is okay because if it's the cutter, it falls back inside the zone this way. But if it's the changeup, it falls down out of the zone that way. And I would love to see that. I have no idea what's coming. But that's what I would do here. Oh, and he spotted him with a fastball. Okay. That's cool. So that's the other, like, that's the other way of doing the bluff, right? Instead of waiting for that cutter to fall off, he just never gets it. He just threw 4 fastballs, 3 for strikes on the black execution, 3 in a row. I love that. I dig it. Yeah, Taylor got in his own head there. I mean, that's fun sequencing because that's why Taylor isn't swinging at that pitch. I mean, it's also borderline too. He doesn't necessarily know if it's a strike, but he's thinking along that line that's going to fall off and be that cutter. Oh, man. So the changeup wouldn't have been right. That was the right pitch call. Love it. Fastball up and away. Sure, you got a strike on Rios here. I think kind of with Rios, you aren't as scared throwing that first pitch fastball. It wasn't directly in the heart of the plate, but wasn't the best located one. And because he's swinging at fastballs, that kind of tells you to throw that cutter down. Yeah. So there you go, 91, and you get another one. Right now he's in the hole. Now you do whatever you want. Just don't throw that curveball that you threw to Bellinger, okay? Throw a changeup. I don't like that call. I think the changeup is a better one. Yeah, well, that's much. Okay. I take it back. Gallen, I take it back. Take it back. I mean, the reason I didn't like this one from Gallen is because it's pretty easy to say no, right? Like this pitch starts over here and falls down that way essentially, right? I mean, it's a little exaggerated, but you understand where this one is never in the zone and it's very easy to say no to this. And you don't want it to end there. You want it to be underneath. And really essentially it's harder to get this with a curveball as opposed to a slider, I think. Because it's slower, there's more time for a batter to drop the barrel of the bat down to here to hit it. If it's a harder slider, it's harder to make that adjustment and when it's under the zone. So if you're going to do this, it's got to be like down here, right? And I'm making it more middle than away for that reason. If it has to start like here and then fall out that way. So that's why I didn't really like this 0-2 one. Obviously, I wasn't trying to execute that. Now, throwing it here, though, that's pretty cool because it's starting up here, and then and Rios doesn't know if that's going to be a strike or not, and he has to swing. And that's a hard pitch to hit. I mean, that's pristine 1-2 curveball. Absolutely gorgeous. And I didn't think that Gallen could execute that. He hadn't executed a good curveball like this the entire inning. So that's pretty fantastic. Good stuff from Gallen. And I think that's a good representation that in an inning of what Gallen can do. You know? Look over here, Gallen. Don't look over there. I mean, this is why I'm a Gallen gal, right? Zac Gallen has a fastball he can spot pretty dang well. He has a cutter he plays off of that is really effective. He has a changeup that I think we really haven't even seen flourish this year. And he has a curveball that he's relied on a little bit more so than others. I think it's still a really good pitch. It's, I think the changeup ultimately is the best one. But it got him out here too. And that depth of repertoire mixed with the fastball command makes it so that Zac Gallen can go 6 innings against the Dodgers. It's pretty cool stuff. I think there's another level for us that we haven't seen yet with Zac Gallen. That is when all those secondaries really come into form. But you should be really excited about Zac Gallen, guys. I mean, he's looking like the guy we expected him to be in 2020, or really 2021 before the injuries happened. And I'm stoked for this. So if you're not a Gallen gal, what are you doing? Get yourself one of these shirts at shop.pitcherlist.com. I'll put a link in the description below. But that's going to do it for today. So thanks so much for the subs. Thanks so much for the likes, all that kind of stuff, all the comments. They're great. Even if you don't agree with my take, I understand. Let me know why. But hopefully you understood where I'm coming from. I'm not doing it for hot takes. I don't do hot takes. I don't do that thing. I just talk to you guys about what I see. But that's going to do it for today. So my name is Nick Pollack, and may your BABIPs be low and your strikeouts high.